Hey, what's up guys? It's your man 4am again, back with a new guide for Wartales. In this series I cover everything you need to know about the game, and today we're gonna talk about all the different professions. I'm gonna explain each profession, how they work, where you can pick them up, but also what the most important ones are for your early game adventures. So without further ado, let's get right to it. Alright, so here we are in the center of the Tiltran County. Yesterday I made a guide about the camp, so if you want to know more about everything you have right here, all the different camp equipment, definitely make sure to check out the top right of the screen. But the reason why I stand at this very point is because this is also the center of the map, basically, where you start your adventures in the Tiltran County. And from here, it's also going to be easier to show you guys which professions you can pick up early game and which you want to focus on as quick as possible. So let's first make our way to the northwest, as this is probably what you're gonna do first when you spawn into the game. Your very first day, basically. Also made a guide for that, how you can survive your first days the best and pick up some of the starter professions. But once you reach Strumcap to the northwest, you can instantly already visit the Master Hulen's Forge. So if you left click this one, you can select a blacksmith, and I already have one right here. But before we go into the specific professions, let me just show you how you can assign one of those. So say I don't have a blacksmith, I can just right click another character and then I can choose one of the 10 professions. There are currently 9 of them in the game. As a 10th, Doctor temporarily got removed, but this is already plenty to cover in this video. So each profession basically comes with some nice bonuses. For example, if I have an Angler, it will give me extra willpower and critical hits. But the cool thing is, if you level up the skill of your profession, these bonuses will also become greater. For example, if I start as a novice cook, I will have a constitution of 2, but if we quickly go to the camp, you will see that if I right-click this companion, it will say that it has the companion skill of the cooking. So the constitution is +6 instead of 2. So you basically want to keep your companions assigned to one profession, not keep switching in between them, as the bonuses will be less interesting. Of course, if you don't have enough companions for all the different professions, I recommend to just have one character, for example this one right here, with which I always switch between the Scholar, the Bard, the Angler, whenever I need it. And all the other ones are pretty much locked in. Anyways, I'll explain which bonuses work best for which companions, but let's move back to the blacksmith. So if we left click the forge and select Van Cleef, our main blacksmith, the reason why I make him a blacksmith is because this will give me extra strength, which works very well for melee characters with a heavy hitting weapon like a two-handed sword. If we press confirm, you can see that this brings up a menu with many different items which we can craft. Of course, the further you progress in the game, the more blueprints you will unlock, but this basically allows you to craft different types of gear for your companions. For example, armor. We also have some racks right here. We've got a shield, then also some offense like a throwing axe or a throwing knife, and even layers which you can put in your armor to make it even better. At the top left of the screen, we've got the Knowledge tab, and if we go to Anvil, you can see that there is so much more for me to unlock, but I think I already have the most important ones. The high-level armor, some nice weapons, for example, also a bow for my companions. Anyways, let's get to the crafting. So if we left-click the forge, select our blacksmith, then we can choose between all these items. For example, the reinforced layer of the stack, we can craft this one 5 times, because we have plenty of these materials, while the superior plate armor is pretty pricey and I can only craft one of these. It requires 15 iron ore and also 10 coal. Say you have a pretty big group of companions. You definitely want to be careful with the crafting, as this is a little mini game. So I always press escape and save, because if you mess up the crafting, you will get a lower quality item. But I'm going to show you exactly how to do this. So say I want to craft the superior plate armor, and then we're going to click forge. When the minigame starts, we have to click on the highlighted items as quick as possible to make the best quality item. If we fail to do so, it will simply be a lower quality item with less damage or less armor value, let's say. So let's do this. We're going to create superior plate armor. And we're going to focus on clicking these as quick as possible. So see, every time it highlights to yellow, you're going to click it. And if you manage to click right every single time, all the items will be highlighted yellow instead of gray. And then you will get a superior quality item. Look at this. So this is a 2-star superior plate armor with a sell value of 52 crowns, with some pretty nice armor and guard values. And it also comes with 2 armor layers, so we can actually place 2 of those layers inside. That's basically the stuff which you can find in the armor layer tab. But say I have the reinforced layer of the stack, this will give me extra armor and extra strength. So we can add up to 8 armor and 4 strength with 2 of these layers. The crafting minigame only counts for the items which you place in your inventory in your main hand, and as armor, also the layers don't have this minigame. So that is pretty much it for the smithing profession. Craft your very own gear, equip your companions with some new weapons and armor. I suggest to put it on one of your warriors with a heavy hitting weapon, as the bonus for the companion blacksmith +3 is pretty nice. Now we're gonna leave the Tiltrin county and search for a nice place to fish, as the next profession we're gonna check out is the fishing. You will need this one early game to stock up on all that food. I personally think it's a very nice way to get your hands on a lot more of that. So let's check out Old Wilbert's fishery. Sometimes you will find these little shiny things on the water, which are basically also fishing spots. For example, we've got the fishing spot right there, but the Old Wilbert's fishery, if we open up the map, also restocks on fish every now and then. So you can find it right here to the southwest of the Plateau Stables and Stromkap. So if we go to this area and right click it, we can start the fishing minigame. Of course, we also need a fisherman for this. So I'm going to assign Ari to it. And the cool thing is, this one actually gives you plus willpower and also plus critical hit. So this can be a great profession for a character that wants to land crits every now and then. Thieves, rangers, or archers basically, and also ones that don't have a lot of HP, for example my archer. Basically glass cannons, perfect for angler. Before we start fishing though, I want you to know that there is a very nice bonus item which you can get your hands on early in the game if you start in Tiltrin County, if you decide to help Old Wilbert right here. If we check out Ari for a second, as you can see, she currently has the fly equipped. This one attached to the end of a fishing line, the fly imitates the movement of insects above the water. I also do fly fishing in real life. I think it's a fantastic sport. But the bonus right here is that you have a chance to catch 2 fish at once, ladies and gentlemen. So this one is very interesting if you want to stock up on some extra fishies every now and then. Before you can fish, you also have to craft some hooks at the workshop. So I'm gonna select my Tinkerer right here and craft some of these fish hooks. They only cost you 1 iron ore, and you're gonna need about 1 per 3 fish caught or lost basically. Anyways, right now if we right click the fishing spot, we can select our angler and press confirm. So we've got 3 fish in this pond as well as 6 hooks. So on average you will lose 1 hook and catch 3, or maybe you will lose 1. But the fishing game is pretty simple. So you just left click on the water and then you just basically keep spam clicking. So your fish icon will stay in the center. It cannot go out of bounds. You are not allowed to hit the red zone basically, because then you will fail to catch the fish. I think it's pretty easy to just keep spam clicking, keep that line in the center. And we just lost 1 hook. Ooh, look at that. We actually caught 2 carps. So that was a pretty nice catch. So now that we've caught some fish, it's time to talk about the next professions. One which we've already checked out because we had to craft some hooks, the Tinkerer, but also the cook, so we can cook some nice dishes with the fish we just caught. First off, the Tinkerer. So you're gonna need the workshop for this, as well as a Tinkerer. Personally, I think it's a very nice profession to give to one of your rangers. So with the Tinkerer, you can craft many different items, from animal accessories to backpack accessories, belt accessories, misc items like a lockpick, Pilton, the fishhook, also the torch, in my opinion, one of the best offhand items in the game, as well as a lot of camping gear. Yesterday we talked about everything you need to know about all this camping gear, so make sure to check out my video in the top right of the screen. But We're actually going to craft the saddlebags. This time, by the way, unlike the smithing profession, we can just press craft and we don't have to do a minigame. We can still get our hands on experience while we craft all these items, but my Tinkerer is already on companion level, so this is the maximum bonus you can get, 5% crit. You also have a bonus. If you have a Tinkerer assigned, during each rest it will also produce 2 raw materials which you're going to need to repair your armor. So we currently have 38, so I don't think we're going to run out anytime soon, but once again, you will have some extra bonuses at the knowledge tab, so you can make these tools even better. I definitely recommend doing so. Then we have the cook. The cooking pot is something you first have to craft on the workshop, but then once you have one, you can basically assign one of your companions to become the cook of your crew. So now if we have one assigned, it will reduce the daily food consumption by 2 for our entire crew. So that means this in the top left. The consumption of our crew is 31, while if we have this one unassigned, it will be 33. So it's a pretty nice one. I think my horses eat the most, like 6 each, but the most important part about the cooking pot is that you can right-click it, select your cook, and then you can search through all these recipes. So we just caught some carp. Right now we can make grilled carp with a combination of carp and salt. So we're going to do that 3 times. It will change the food value of 4 to 6. So that's actually a pretty nice improvement. Salt is pretty cheap in my opinion, so you should always have enough with you at all times so you can keep making these dishes. Same counts for the eel. And yeah, of course, if you have some more ingredients, you can make eel soup, for example. With some salt, cabbage, and also the eel itself, you will get a very nice dish in return. Our next profession will allow us to get our hands on precious ore, which we can use for the blacksmithing. Before we check it out though, I first want to deal with this group of bandits. You'll see why in a second. So that went pretty quick, but the most important reason why I decided to resolve combat is because I also wanted to take a prisoner. So right now we've got Lorik in the camp and we're just gonna put her at the stocks right here so she cannot escape. But the cool thing is, I currently don't have any miners in my crew. I think this is a pretty situational profession. I'll talk about the best professions for your crew in the end of this video, but because I currently don't have a miner, I can just select this prisoner. I can assign her as miner so she can perform tasks for my team as a slave basically. So I don't have to assign any other companions to said task. I don't have to get attached to this companion either, as she will simply get rid of all this iron right here with this little mini game. So you basically have to just click every time when the 2 circles are touching each other, and that will basically give you iron ores and sometimes also precious gems depending on your performance. So we're just gonna click every time when it's exactly in the center. And that is pretty much it. We first got 6 iron and now we have 9. So that is basically all that's to it, to the mining profession. It's very straightforward. The reason why I don't have it assigned on one of my companions 24/7 is because once you've mined away the ores, it will take a pretty long time before they respawn. I think about, I don't know, 10 days or 15 days. So what you do is just assign one of your slaves or prisoners as a miner, then you visit the prison, and then you hand them over after you've looted all the iron ore. And once they respawn, you just take a new prisoner, rinse and repeat. I think that's the best way to do it. The miner bonus isn't very special either, but say you have a crew of 9 or more, then I would definitely recommend you to put this profession on one of your tanks, as Constitution will give you more HP, more carrying capacity, so that would be something interesting for Godric right here. But still, I think the cook is a much better profession, so for smaller crews, this one definitely gets priority. While we were on our way to Stromcap, we picked up some flowers here and there because right now we're going to talk about the next profession, Alchemist. Just like the Blacksmith, you can pick this one up in most bigger towns. So right here we've got the Master Hulan Forge, but this one right here is the Apothecary Clinic. Before you can do anything with this profession though, you're gonna need to have a nice amount of ingredients first. So you can already visit the marketplace for this. Sometimes this one will also sell you some leather and ores, which you can use for smithing, as well as the wood and the cloth right here. But for the alchemy, you will need flowers like the comfrey, the marsh parsley. So if we just quickly check this one out. By the way, you can pick up this profession if you want early game for a nice bonus, as you only have to press craft right here, and then we select one of our companions. Aragorn is my alchemist, so if we press confirm right here, this will also bring up a list with all the different types of items we can craft. Personally, I think the most important item, hands down, you should always make 24/7 when you revisit a town is the medicine, as this is a pretty pricey item. You can also purchase it from the apothecary itself, but it will cost you a lot of crowns. And at a certain point, you will also unlock the flawed remedy, which has a small chance to cure characters as well. Then, with some pretty interesting items like the plague-infested outgrowth sample, which you get from red infestations, you can craft some pristine essence. We also have some sharpening oils right here, a swamp flask, which applies fever to enemies, hand bomblets, which cause explosions. So primarily things which you use in combat or after it. So the medicine, once again, most important item to craft, as right here it will cost 39 crowns. I think depending on your knowledge, it will be more expensive or less, but you will need a nice amount of vials for this. So that is the one I definitely recommend you to purchase. If we open up the map for a second, I can explain you where to find most flowers. So the marsh parsley, without doubt, the Hyrek Myrlands, as it is a marsh. Then for the strange tubers, you want to go to Gozenberg, while the other two can be found everywhere. And of course, for the snow iris, you want to go into the mountains, most important places for them. Then, of course, we also have the red infestations every here and there. Another one right there. You want to clear these to get those brains, because with the brains, you can talk with the apothecaries and also unlock some new recipes. Once again, I have a red infestation guide, which you can find in the top right of the screen. The alchemy profession is going to be great for your rangers, archers, and rogues, as it increases your dexterity. Now, for the next profession, I had to travel all the way to the Hyrek Myrlands, as I already picked most locks in the game. So, of course, we're going to talk about thievery right now. So, let's right-click Dirge right here. As you can see, thievery comes with dexterity and critical hit scaling. So, this is a very nice profession for all your assassins and rogues to hit like a truck with attacks from behind, let's say, as, once again, this scales very well with those dexterity abilities. You should definitely visit the workshop and craft yourself a camp chest, as this is going to be a very awesome item to combine with this profession, as if you have a thief assigned to it, it will launder the items stolen during a rest little by little. So if you are a true bandit, guys, you can actually store all those stolen goods in here, and then after some time they will convert to normal, and then you can place them in your inventory again. The guard will not seek after them. But of course, the most important reason why you want to have a thief in your party is so you can steal items. And then we also have chests with locks, for which you need a lockpick. So we're gonna visit the workshop. Just like the hook, you're only gonna need 1 iron ore for each of them. I definitely recommend you to craft a nice amount for your adventures. So right now we can right click the chest to use our lockpick and select our thief. We're gonna press confirm, and now a little mini game will pop up, which is very similar to the one of Skyrim. You guys probably remember this, but basically what you need to do is carefully just move this thing around a little bit. Make sure that the lock doesn't break, and you're just gonna search in all areas. So right here we see that we have a lot of movement, so that means we can already do the first one. Now we're going to search for the next. So now the pick doesn't move around a lot. We just broke one, but now I think I found the second one already. So we're just going to carefully move. And as you can see, this is probably the second. Bam. And now we only have one more left. So if you have too much movement going on, it will break after some time. But you just search for the place where you can move it around the most, let's say. And that should do the trick. Look at that, we just got our hands on 150 crowns. That's a nice bonus. Some locks, especially towards the late game, can be pretty tricky to pick, And ooh, we just got our hands on the Lute blueprint. Look at that. This is going to be perfect for our next profession. But if you want to prevent losing a lot of lockpicks, what you can do is just open the menu and save. If you break a couple locks, you just load it again, then attempt to open up the chest again. For the next part of the thievery, we want to interact with some NPCs. So for example, we've got a group of merchants right here. And if we talk with them, we can see their wares, but we can also steal them. For example, we get this prompt right here. And if we press steal, we can select the thief, press confirm, and then you will see the amount of suspicion it will increase if you take this away from their inventory. If you are already wanted by the guard, I definitely don't suggest you doing this, but every now and then, if your meter is already at 0, it is actually very interesting to get some free wares. For example, say I need some cloth. I could just take some cloth right here. That's actually 12, and we only get 60 suspicion. This doesn't increase my wanted level, so the guard is still not searching for me, even though we are at 60. We have to get over the 100 to get one wanted level. So this one is 40 to 70. Can be risky. If we get to 70, it will definitely go over 100. So you can go for the 30 to 50, for example, or the 25 to 40. If we have serious bad luck right now and steal these fish hooks, we go to 100. But I think that's not gonna happen. Look at that, 99. Oh, that is very close. Anyways, still safe. And these guys will not attack us. You can also search for containers in houses. For example, I already picked a lock right there, but sometimes you will also find some containers, for example, this one. If we inspect it, it says a Krowns, so we have to steal it. It's not for free. So if you press steal, select a thief, again, we can see the amount of suspicion it will give you when you take it away from it. But that's pretty much it for the basics for this profession. The two last professions are very situational, Scholar and Bard. Both of them can be unlocked when you enter the tombs. I already cleared both of them with my tomb guide in the top right, but the first one basically unlocks the lectern if you have a Scholar in your group. So say I make one of my companions a Scholar, then it can decipher codices and piece together antiquities at the camp lectern, and also solve puzzles in the Tomb of the Ancients to grant knowledge points. So if we just assign her to the lectern right here, you can see that we currently have a Builder's Codex Chapter 3. But we haven't found all the different runes, so we cannot place it inside yet. Sometimes if you have these antiquities, blue or purple, you can place them in there, and after a couple rests, you will unlock a valuable item, maybe even something which you can use for your companions. For example, Godric right here has the ingenious one, an item which I got off the research table, the lectern pretty much, which is very powerful. A legendary one-handed mace. I still need to upgrade it though. My tomb guide explains so much more about the Scholar, which is definitely interesting to watch if you want to have one in your crew. But then we have one more profession left, the Bard. So let me just quickly learn this blueprint, which we just unlocked. So we can revisit the Tinkerer table, craft the Lute. So right now, I'm gonna reassign Ari from Scholar to Bard. And then she can learn songs and sing them in taverns. So if you just place her right here, we can go for the adventures galore. I already discovered this one inside a tomb, so you can find some right there. But then you can unlock more. For example, if you win a battle with only one undying unit, or win a battle against at least 8 units with a group bearing no equipment. Have a boar called Hammy and make it kill 5 units in a single battle. Go ham, literally. I think that's pretty interesting. And now we can talk to the innkeeper, and then instead of just rest, we will get another option, sing. Sing a song to let the bard in you shine. So let's give this one a go, guys. I'm not a great singer, but let's do this. We're gonna select our bard, confirm. Then we can do adventures galore, select any track you have and play. Then we just have to click at the right time. I'm so bad at this. Oh boy, I totally messed up. Was almost a perfect run. But hey, we got a nice amount of influence and also some cash. But that is the bard. I think it's more of a role-playing kind of profession. It's pretty funny to have one in your squad. If we just assign one to the Lute in the camp, it will also give you 1 willpower as well. So it can be useful. But now let's focus on the most important professions. Not sure what Dirge is doing right here. He looks drunk. Okay, he got stung by some bees. I'm gonna heal him quickly. But yeah, the hands down most important professions which you need are the Tinkerer, as you can produce free raw materials during rest. So definitely make sure to assign one of your rangers or rogues to this profession. Next up, we've got Thievery with Dirge. Once again, rangers, rogues are very nice for this profession. So you can always pick some locks, open some containers, and also steal loot from other merchants. And you want to have a cook in your squad, so that's already 3 professions. For the 4th, temporarily a scholar after you've raided some tombs, because they can solve all these puzzles, and you're gonna have to spend quite some time at the lectern before you can solve every single one of them, let's say. After you've done that, I definitely suggest you to just get rid of it and focus on some other ones. Instead, definitely an alchemist, but I already have this profession on Aragorn. So yeah, there are 9 slots in total. If you have 9 companions, you can assign each of them to a unique profession. But I only have 6. We're going to talk about the best squad size in a future video. But then, of course, I can only choose 6 professions. So I go with Thief, Alchemist, Blacksmith, Angler, Tinkerer, and Cook. You're gonna need these at all times, basically. The mining can be situational. If the ores respawn in one of the caves, you can just assign a prisoner or a slave to it, let's say. While the Scholar is only necessary to solve puzzles and antiquities, gonna be temporary. And the Bard, yeah, more a roleplay kind of profession. Who knows, we're gonna have the Doctor soon. Really looking forward to this one. Anyways, guys, that is pretty much everything you need to know about all the professions right now for this video. So a big thanks for watching. If you found this one useful, definitely make sure to leave a like as it helps out the channel. And of course, if you want to know something else about Wartales, let me know in the comments, or if you think I missed something. Anyways, make sure to subscribe as there is a lot more coming your way. Right now, though, it's 4 AM out. I want to wish you an awesome day. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.